In this activity, we are going to use the quota capabilities with regards to our file server resource management role to apply a template or a quota to our hard drives and our file shares to restrict how much data an individual user can put into our environment. So let's check it out. Here I already have file server resource management open, and we have here under quota management our quotas. What I'm going to do is click Quota Templates to view all the templates that are there. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to click Create a Quota Template. For the template name, we'll call this just Marketing Quota. And then for description, we'll just say Quota for Marketing Share. And for the size, let's put this simply to 20 megabytes. It's an extremely low quota, but that's what a lab environment is for. We'll specify this as a hard quota so that we are restricted at that point. And then we also want to add a threshold. So add, and the threshold we want is going to be at 50%. By default, we start off by looking at the email message, and if we have an email server set up in our environment that's configured to work in this, we can specify to send emails to the administrators as well as to the owner of the file who is exceeding the quota. The next tab is to specify an event log, and I will check, yes, send a warning event to the event log, and we can add in our customized log entry information if we want. The next tab, we can specify individual commands or batch scripts that we want to run. These scripts may automatically clean up files or perform other tasks depending on our needs. And then lastly is a report option where we can generate different reports for our environment. I've gone ahead and checked the send warning to event log and say OK. Now that we're back to our template, I'm going to go ahead and say OK, and we will see our template right there. Now that we have our template, I'm going to right click and say create a quota from this template. Here we have the quota path, and I'm going to click browse, and this is where there is a typo in the lab. The lab says go to the C drive for marketing docs. However, in this case, it is the H drive marketing docs, and say OK. And I'm going to accept the default options and then click create. At this point, our quota has been applied. Let's try that again. It's a non-negative number. No, no negative numbers. Let's try that. Apply. Browse. H:, marketing docs. Okay. And create. Quota already exists. Okay, apparently it worked the first time. If I go over to quotas, I will see there is my quota right there, and I can see the details down here. Curious that I got the error the first time. Now that we have the quota set up and running, now let's try it out. So to test the quota, the lab says go to the C drive, go to Windows, go to System32, and then look for a file called WMP. If you just type WMP, it will take you right to it, and we can see that this is 11 megabytes in size. We have our quota set to 20, so this should be enough to give us a warning. I'm going to right click and copy, and then go to go to the H as opposed to C, the H marketing docs, and right click and paste. Now that we've gone ahead and pasted that in there, we are over half of our quota already. I'm going to simply click on it, and I'm going to rename WMP to ABC. And then I'm going to right click and paste in order to paste a second copy of this WMP DLL, and we should get an error. Yeah, not enough disk space. Now we know there is in fact more disk space. However, this is the quota causing an issue for us. Okay, it's working the way it's supposed to. It's stopping one user from using up all of our disk space. With that said, let's go back to Server Manager. Let's go to Tools and Event Viewer. And under the Windows logs and application log, let's make this bigger, we should see an event ID 12325. Right there, 12325, which specifically says user server SA1 administrator has exceeded the 50% quota threshold. Great. So not only did our quotas apply, we got a warning when we exceeded our quota threshold, and we were blocked from exceeding the threshold because of the hard threshold capability.